What's up, it's your man No Malice, and you are checking out Gorilla Cross Radio. Speak life.
Bounce one time. Bounce one time.
Can you get it?
Hey, you guys are listening to Girl Chat Sports. I am Mo, my girl Mel right across from me, throwing up them deuces. We got a 2 for today.
Man, 2 for 2 Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, so tonight's show, we've actually got 2 call-in guests. We got our boy Arlington Lane, A-Train. He got a podcast out in St. Louis covering the AAF and XFL.
Love it.
And then later on, we're also going to chat with Channing Crowder, yes.
Yes, former Miami Dolphins linebacker.
Man, I got some questions. We're going to talk about the combine.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the Dolphins, their quarterback situation, because we all know it's going downhill over there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes. So we've got a busy show. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to have all, the extra. I've been missing football, y'all. I mean, even I know the AAF is on. The last 2 weeks, I've kind of missed out because I've been busy. I miss football, and I need to watch more of the AAF. So I'm glad that we got Arlington on to kind of talk about that. I'm excited the combine is this weekend.
Yes. And the Raiders may
coverage
possibly
starts
have a good
tomorrow.
guy.
Yeah, well, the Raiders have so many picks.
Yeah,
so
they do.
Yeah,
they do.
We'll drill Channing a little bit on what he thinks the Raiders may be looking
Absolutely.
into. But first off, we'll start with some Vegas stuff.
Oh, yeah. So we've got some great sports going on this weekend. We got the rugby tournament.
Vegas Sevens is here, Sandboy Stadium. It's like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Wow. All those guys.
The NASCAR's in town. So all the country people is out.
Right.
They saving them pennies, and they out here at the Speedway
wearing their leather NASCAR jackets, the 8-ball jackets, whatever,
hats, boots,
everything,
flannels, all that.
Yeah, they be showing up. They show up. They
and
really
then
do.
we got fight night on Saturday.
UFC
Talk to me about it.
235. That's gonna be going down. Jones versus Smith.
Yes.
I mean, the card is huge. So shout out to Markel Martin, who was our former guest last week. He will be in town for that. I'm not sure who his clients are for this particular one, but he is Francis Ngannou's agent. If you recognize that was from last weekend's fight of UFC Phoenix, where he defeated Cain Velasquez in 26
seconds.
Ridiculous. So anyway, he's going to be in town. That's going to be a great fight. And then we've also got Las Vegas local fights March 2nd. That's going to be dope because that is going to be over at the Westgate, and that is only $25.
Yes.
Shout out to Saul Gomez. He is fighting. Shout out to my boy Ray Vega, who's also his trainer. Hopefully we'll get them in the studio one of these days.
Yeah,
so
I know we wanted
talk.
to.
But the card is enormous,
Is
and they've got a lot of local boxers on there, a lot of female boxers on there. So I mean,
love it.
If you guys are not sewed up with anything NASCAR related or UFC related, I mean, it's just so much going on this weekend. I would go down and check out those fights.
Yeah?
Yeah, I wish I was here to do that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Mo's leaving town tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm going to make a big announcement on Instagram, so just stay tuned because it is big.
She's got some major stuff going on. We are really excited for Mo.
Yes. So let's talk about the Knights, or what do you
Our Knights won.
Finally they won.
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah, shout out to Mark Stone, our newest Golden Knight.
I think he was the good luck charm that we needed.
Well, I couldn't believe that people were talking about how there was already 61 jerseys. Like people already had his number 61 jersey out there. He was already his jersey was already being.
Oh, he's dominant.
Like he just flew in Monday night, Tuesday morning, and Tuesday's game practice, and then people already have his jersey out.
Oh, they were already on the East Bay or whatever pre-order.
eBay, they were down at whatever the store is for the Golden Knights.
Yeah,
they were
already there.
Yeah,
that is too funny.
Speaking of jerseys, our guy Fleury. He's got like one of the number one selling NHL jerseys.
Oh, I believe it. He had how many saves the other night? What was it, 24 saves or something like that? Ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, they all beasted out.
So they won last night, 4-1.
It
was an amazing game. It was good. I mean, it was a lot of offense power. It was definitely good to watch.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Shout out to those that win.
Because of Pacioretty. So here's what I was trying to talk to Mo about earlier is that now that they're on the same team, they were rivals in the Canadian in the Canadian teams for like so long, and I was like, man, this is like if Jordan and Isaiah Thomas were to have to have been on the same team. Like, could you imagine one day your rival for like 6 years is now playing on your team?
Gotta come together.
I mean, that's crazy. And that's just how things work. But could you? And that's how big it is for some of these hockey fans. I mean, we're still new hockey fans, so we're trying to learn. But they've had like this revengeful, like hateful relationship forever. And so, reading some of the comments and some of the quotes I was reading on like the Sun, one of the papers here, was just basically how they were still in shock, kind of, and still like almost ready to kind of try and bang out each other real quick. But we're on the same team.
Yeah, right.
Whoops. Yeah. So that was kind of.
They're gonna be best friends. After it's all said and done. Besties, BFFs.
I can't believe it. For me, that would be ridiculous. So we're now 2-6-1.
Right.
Which is good because we had slid down for us. So we just got to come back. So
we're going to go to the playoffs, I think.
Well, I mean, we're still third in the division.
Right.
We've been sucking, and we're still third in the Pacific Division. Yeah. So, I'm thinking the playoffs will be okay for us. Yeah, for sure. Now, after
Stanley
that.
Cup, I don't know. I hate to say that, but I mean, I don't want to be that chick to say that.
Yeah, it's still early.
It is early.
We'll say that. We'll see how this,
Everybody likes a comeback, and sometimes sleeper teams like Denver Nuggets.
Hello.
They will
shout out Isaiah Thomas. The other Isaiah Thomas.
Right. They'll show up and show out. So you never know. Never know. Well, I'm excited about our guests.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. And also real quick, so tonight, just because we
talked about this.
The UNLV are here, or no, UNLV is in UNR tonight at 8.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting only because like 3 of the Reno starters are like injured. Both the twins and Jordan, they were injured yesterday. They weren't sure as to if they would affect them being in the game. I don't know for sure if they're playing.
I think they're probably going to play. It's a rival game. Or do you think they're going to just rest it because so just in case UNLV does win, we know that there was some injuries on Nevada. But Nevada slipped. They're down on 12. They're now 12 in the that was a slip.
Top 25. Yeah, it's a major slip. So that should be interesting. Also, real quick shout out to Jose Vellante. He has a radio station out here at KSHP Radio, the AM 1400. I'll be on his show tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to have our boy Tommy. He's got Tommy Olsen from the Lights On. I'm super excited to hang with Tommy again.
Shout out to Tommy Olsen.
So this is the Sudden Death Show. It's on tomorrow, live Thursday on 14 a.m. here in Las Vegas. So check it out, 8 to 9 p.m. again. What's up to Jose V? Shout out to Vegas Sports Daily, our boy Mike Dixon, for all the assistance, us coming together as a team, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Other than that, the Lights do have their game this weekend.
Oh, that's another thing. Yep, this is their debut. This is the season opener. So.
No, season opener is next weekend.
Next week, that's right.
But this week is like the
Orange County. They added one more exhibition game. I remember we talked about this last week. Yeah.
Okay.
So
we all have fun moments.
That's right. I was looking at it and I was like, wait a minute, is season starting again? And I promised him I was going to come to a game, but I was like, okay, we got one more exhibition game, and then I'll come to
And then we'll go to a game.
Tommy, I promise I am coming. No, I'm coming.
We just want the jerseys.
Winter is coming.
We want to flash those jerseys.
I want to see Dottie and Dolly. They were shout out to Dottie and Dolly Lama because they were at the American Federal First Credit Union.
Were they?
I don't know which location they were, but I saw it on my social media today. The Lights had posted, like, look who's here. Dottie and Dolly.
I love it. Oh, and just breaking news. I know it's not breaking news, but my bet has won. The Raiders got a home before Bryce Harper did.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So the Raiders are staying in Oakland for. Here's what I think is kind of weird. They said 2019 and possibly 2020.
But the construction is going along just fine.
So we think, but why would they even say that?
They're just trying to throw shade like they're not leaving, but they're leaving.
I mean, they're leaving, but let's say it's. So they could be there possibly for 2020 just in case Vegas isn't ready for it.
Vegas is on track. Every person I've spoken with on this construction thing is on track. Our Raiders are coming 2020.
Okay, I'm just saying. So
I know, I
the
saw
Raiders
it too.
have a
I saw
home,
it too.
But Bryce Harper still has no home.
Yeah, so the Phillies are looking at him. They're
and
shopping
the Giants.
him. The Giants are
they
shopping
have like
him.
a second interview
yes,
or something.
Yes, they did, but they're trying to get a higher pay than the
$300
$300 million. Shout out to my Dodgers too.
Oh yeah,
because we're already into the games and stuff. And
well, I know it's just spring training. I did my brother because I was like, hey, listen, I know it's spring training. I know it's like preseason for us, but the Mariners are winning like all their games.
Dodgers are winning too. Shout out to them beating the A's.
I mean, and he's like, well, it's only spring training. I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't you? I mean, there are teams in like preseason that suck and they just lose all their games too. So how do I know? I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I know Mariners will be rebuilding forever in life, but I'm hoping.
Well, we lost key players.
And
then we've got drama with Kershaw not wanting to pitch and stuff during his training and stuff because he's having a slump or whatever. So to be winning the last 2 of our spring training games, I'm like,
Mike said you're rocking the chinchilla vest.
It's gerbil, actually. Tell Mike it's gerbil.
Don't call PETA, okay?
Don't call PETA. It's actually gerbil. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's give a call to Arlington and get him on the line.
Cool. Let's do it.
Hello?
Hello.
Yo. A-Train in the house.
St. Louis in the house.
What's good?
St. Louis is here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Thank you for joining us, Arlington. So for everybody out there, you guys we've known In the Zone Network for a long time. I have personally, and I've been working with you guys, you and Palmer out there in St. Louis. But I know recently you just started up the new A-Train podcast, and you got a Facebook page dedicated to the AAF as well as the XFL. So we wanted to have you on because I kind of got it really into the AAF the first week, and then I kind of took a little siesta the last couple weeks. So I kind of want to get some updates from you, get some live feedback as to where this is standing, how the league is doing as a whole, what attendance is like for the AAF, and kind of your thoughts on the league.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But first, before I do that, Melissa, I want to kind of call you out a little bit because the first time that you heard about the Alliance for American Football, you called it something dealing with some Medicare. Now, you remember that. I ain't forgot. See that?
Hey, I mean, let's just be honest, though. When it first came out, we were all kind of like, okay, we've been down this road before. And Alliance, and the way they phrased it with Alliance, and I'm like, is that like America? It's like a medical group?
Yeah, it was like some Medicare stuff.
Yeah, it does sound like it would be some beneficial things. Like AARP members
like Alliance. Alliance. Like, you got to sign up for that? Is that a mailer I get when I'm 45? Right. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like you looking for some HMOs or something coming out of this.
Right.
Is that a PPO plan?
Like,
I don't know.
She was serious about it too, man.
They're on the ECTA plan.
I'm trying to say, man. I'm trying to say. Anyway.
Yeah, but I had to throw that out there, man. You know, go Bulls still. You know, it's always
you
Bulls
already
no
know. Go Bulls, us till the day. Yes.
Whatever. Moving right along. What were you going to discuss with us tonight, Arlington?
So basically, about the Alliance, man. It started in 2019. You know, with Charlie Ebersol and Bill Polian. Okay. And lately, you know, they introduced it last year. Like 2 months after Vince McMahon announced the XFL was coming back,
right.
Here comes Charlie Ebersol with his 2 months later. So it was kind of interesting to see how that one played out. And the games themselves, they actually have been pretty good. As a matter of fact, the ratings for the Alliance has been awesome on the NFL Network. As a matter of fact, they've increased from week to week.
Wow.
So how many games are there right now that are being shown?
Right now there are 4 games they show each weekend, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. You can catch the games. Right now the Sunday game is CBS Sports Network and NFL Network. And then on Saturday, they show the games on Bleacher Report Live, which is a streaming site where you can go, and that's for free. And you can also catch it on the NFL Network. So the NFL Network shows it twice. Turner and Bleacher Report, they show it once, and then CBS Sports shows it once.
Okay.
So you can catch the games there, and it actually has been pretty awesome, man. One of my favorite teams to watch is, believe it or not, the Birmingham Iron.
What?
You have to watch it. They remind me of the Baltimore Ravens back in the 2000s, you know, where Trent Dilfer was the quarterback, you know, and, you know, they had that. They got that kind of quarterback, and then they also have a terrific defense. Oh, my God. It's like so great to watch them. And, of course, a lot of people are talking about the Orlando Apollos in the league. You know, if you follow the league, they talk about the Apollos. They have a great offense, and they got Steve Spurrier, you know, taking over that team. And so, you know, they've been doing pretty well. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what I've seen so far with the league.
And what about Rick Neuheisel? He used to coach my Huskies, so of course I've been following along with them and the San Diego team. They seem to have been doing pretty good the first couple weeks. I don't know how they've been doing recently. I know there's been, I don't know if who's currently like leading. I know there's 8 teams total. Who's currently like right now out in the? Is there a leader right now, or is there like a? Yeah.
There are 2 teams right now that are ahead, and they both are in the same conference. They're both in the East, and that's the Apollos I mentioned and the Iron. They're both 3-0, and they have games this coming up Saturday and Sunday. The Apollos take on the Salt Lake Stallions, and I believe the Iron takes on, I think it's a Western Conference foe. I think it's the Commanders of San Antonio. I can't be sure off the bat, but I know that those are for Orlando and Birmingham. Those 2 teams are looking like they're going to fight for a spot in the championship game, which is going to be in Vegas at the end of April.
Oh, okay. When?
It's going to be the 26th and the 27th. I think the championship game is the 27th.
Oh, is it going to be a
so
Sam
that
Boyd?
Weekend? It will be at Sam Boyd.
I guess I got to make one trip to Sam Boyd this year.
Well, actually, from the even though the attendance hasn't been as great as they have hoped, I know like in Atlanta and Salt Lake and San Diego, they've had crowds of under 15,000. The San Antonio and Orlando teams are the ones that's been leading the pack with over 20,000 fans. I mean, if you think about that for a startup league, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I know you're not expected to have the 30, 40,000, 50,000 folks you will have at a normal NFL game, but you have to understand this is an upstart league, and right now, not too many people are highly known in the league. So what you get to do is get to see great football each week, and that's what it's been, and that's the coolest thing about the league. Like, I was shocked when I found out, like when I spoke about the ratings earlier, that the NBA was beat. They were beat by the Alliance by 100,000. So it was at 2.1 to 2.0.
Oh, wow.
No, actually, I think it was the Rockets and the Thunder game.
Exactly. So that wasn't even a game that was that exciting to watch in the first place.
I mean, I just had to throw it in there.
Right. Okay.
But
makes
still,
sense.
though, even with that said, that's the cool thing about it. People will. They're going to be a lot of haters, and they're going to trash the league and whatnot. But at the same time, those that have been watching, they've been getting awesome games week in and week out. And so that is the most pleasant thing that I've been able to see with this league. Like with the Apollos that I spoke about, they've had 2 great games the last 2 weeks. They played against a great San Antonio team with their defense, and it was a high octane offensive game, 37-29. And then last week against Memphis, who are actually struggling, they struggled against Memphis and only won by like 4 points. So that was the interesting thing about those games. Those guys are giving it their all each week. And the biggest success story so far has been like Trent Richardson of the Birmingham Iron. Not a lot of rushing yards, but he's got 6 touchdowns, which leads the league so far.
So that's impressive. So for all of us who are new to this, like myself here,
okay.
Now can you explain as far as the difference with the rules versus NFL rules? How is it regulated as far as the scoring, any of that? Like, is there a different rule? What's the premise of all this? Break it down to me.
They took away the kickoffs, so there are no kickoffs to start any of the games, or after any score itself. There's no kickoff, so you get the ball on the 25-yard line. Whoever wins the coin toss gets the ball at the 25-yard line, and then if you do score a touchdown, you have to go for 2. You can't go for an extra point.
Okay.
So you have to go for 2, and also if you choose to. And they also say, like, if you're down like a bunch of points, you can go. If you have to do an onside kick, if you're down, you go. It's no onside kick. You have to go 4th and 12 at the 25-yard line and make a first down. You make a first down, you get to keep the ball.
Okay.
They're making you work.
Yeah, they are.
Right, and they're letting them. They're letting them hit. You don't get a lot of stupid penalties for hitting.
Okay.
And so also 1 foot inbounds like college, so they're allowing that as well.
One thing that I did like when I watched it was there was some controversy over one of the calls, and they literally, you listen in as the referees are talking about it, as well as there's a person up in the media booth who oversees it, who will basically at that very time can overrule everything and be like, nope, this is the call.
That's the cool innovation with the alliance. It's called the Sky Judge. And the Sky Judge is literally the eye in the sky that's watching everything, and then they relay things to the referees, and you get to hear the conversation. You even get to hear the conversations with the head coaches and the quarterbacks. So that's another cool innovation that you can take. And I know the NFL is watching that. And of course, Vince McMahon and the XFL is definitely looking at what they have going on as well. And that's the most amazing thing about it. And you're getting the games are a lot faster. There's also a 35-second play clock. So it speeds up the game a bit. You have to make plays in 35 seconds or less. So you get that, and it's wonderful innovations they have included with the new alliance. And I'm telling fans right now, man, please check it out. I mean, even though don't worry about the attendance, what it looks like, but watch the game, because these guys are literally working their tails off week in and week out just to put on a show for their audiences.
Is there anybody in particular that you've noticed that's been playing, like, has been super, has been doing better than people have expected, or someone that's really stood out that you think is like, really taking the league and using it for what it was there for, is to help these people kind of have more of a platform to play and to have exposure and to also get paid at the same time?
The Trent Richardson was, the name I mentioned first. Everybody remember him from Alabama, and wasn't panning out so great in the NFL, but him with his 6 touchdowns has been a great insight. There's a guy from San Diego. His name is Jaquan Gardner. He's been doing amazing. He leads the league in rushing right now with just under 300 yards. And the biggest name so far, I think, is right now the offensive most valuable player is Garrett Gilbert for the Orlando Apollos. He was once a member of the Rams. He was actually a part of the Week 17 Carolina Panthers. He was on the roster in Week 17 just this past season. And Garrett Gilbert has been balling out with Steve Spurrier's offense. He's leading the league in passing right now with over 800 yards. And another key member of that Apollo team is Charles Johnson at wide receiver. He actually came on late of the Apollos, and he was in the Jets camp at one point, and he is on top of the receiving yard leaders in the Alliance.
Wow.
So it's been amazing to see. And there's another person you need to watch out, Jalen Marshall. Oh, my goodness. I've seen some amazing catches from this young man, and it's been, like I said, that team has been terrific to watch.
This is all in the Apollos? So they're loaded.
Right. I can see, but see, here's the thing about the Apollos. I mean, I've been watching them. It's starting to look. They have been doing everything from marketing wise, to out on the field. They're trying to showcase that they are the best team, not only in not in the league, but not only just the conference, but the league as a whole. And they have been showcasing themselves as the dominant leader so far.
Wow. So real quick question then before we let you go, because we appreciate you coming on. One of the things I was curious about, I don't know if you know for sure or not, but as far as if any of these players, let's say after the season's over, for some reason were to get picked up and to play on either a practice team or get picked up on one of the NFL teams, and let's say they don't make it throughout the year or they don't get signed for a contract, are they able to come back into the AAF and play again next season, or is there some kind of rules and regulations about that?
They only won't be able to make it if they get signed to a contract. That's what was the case for Josh Johnson, quarterback for the Washington Redskins. He signed the contract, but he was actually the number 1 pick in the past quarterback draft.
Mm-hmm. That was here in Las Vegas.
That was in Vegas at the Luxor. And he was. I think he's kin to Marshawn Lynch, who was there at the event. Nice. So to give him support. And so because he signed a contract with the Redskins, he was unable to play, for the San Diego Fleet. Now, if he gets released at any point, then he's eligible to get back to the Alliance of American Football. I don't know if he will be back with the San Diego Fleet, but, there's an opportunity for him to get back into the league. Now, what's the amazing thing about it, like, they go through any aspects just like any other, like the NFL. Like, players get cut. Not everybody's going to be kept. There's only 52 members to a roster, so you only get 416 players in the entire league that's going to be on a roster. So, I mean, it's just, if you look at it, it's just a man short of what the NFL has with their 53-man roster.
Right. So can Johnny Manziel come play?
Now, I'm glad that you. I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up.
Or is that the reason why something happened? Because he wants to come play.
I don't know, because I honestly believe he's not going to want to play for the Alliance.
Yeah.
I really don't think so because of, one, the pay landscape, and you have to do like the 3-year deal before, before the NFL contract and whatnot. So like this first season, everybody's getting $70,000. And then the next season they're getting $80,000, and then the next one is $100,000. But the problem is they're all non-guaranteed contracts.
Oh, yeah. Then he's not coming.
But they, right? I don't think he's going. The same thing was said about Colin Kaepernick, man. That's why he made the proposed $20 million offer. They're not going to pay that. They're going to pay it there, and they're not going to pay it in the XFL. So my thing is, they're never going to get those two guys, even though Johnny Manziel would be the perfect option, believe it or not, for the new XFL. He would be great for them.
Okay. I was just curious about that because he got released today from the CFL. So
I still don't get that whole release either. There was some wording that I didn't understand. I'm like, what is this?
I think I'm going to need a lawyer for that.
Do we have an attorney here, Quan? You got anybody we can call? Arlington, where can everybody find you? Where can they find your Alliance to XFL? Where can they find the podcast? Where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, you can always go to alliance2xfl.com, and that's Alliance, the number 2, and XFL.com. We usually post the shows up on the website, and it'll take you to our In the Zone Network page because we're partnered up with the In the Zone Network, the real In the Zone Network. And you can also, we'll post some of the shows, past episodes on the website at the Alliance to XFL show, and you can go on Twitter at AAF to XFL, on Instagram at the same, and on Facebook at Alliance to XFL.
Nice.
I love it. City to city, state to state, and the zone, right?
City to city, state to state, worldwide, baby.
All right.
Yeah.
Shout out, Arlington. Thank you so much. We're definitely going to have you back on once it gets closer probably to the end of the season for them, or maybe even to talk more about the XFL for next time, because I know they still have a little ways to go for next year until they get started. But we definitely want to.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait to talk about the XFL, man. I'm actually excited because, St. Louis is going to have a team.
Oh, that's right. You guys get football back.
I'm looking forward to that. Also, there's a little nugget I'm going to throw out, but then I'm not going to say anything else afterwards. There's a big possibility that the NFL is going to return to St. Louis. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Really?
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I dropped a little small nugget for you guys. But also,
are we looking at a new team or just like a transfer again?
I can't say. I can't really say at this point.
I'm guessing expansion. I'm going to go with expansion. I know we're even right now, but I think expansion.
Yeah, all I'm going to say about that is this. The NFL owners are not going to divide the pie. They're not going to add another team, so expansion is out. But my thing is about the XFL, I'm excited. They're going to be in the Dome, and I'm hoping that all of St. Louis comes and rock it out because it needs a rebirth for football here in St. Louis. So I'm extremely pleased, and I can't wait to get started covering.
I know the people out there really want to see it too.
Right. I think the attendance will be great too for that because they don't have it, and that'll be even more of a buy-in for.
Yeah, and the last thing before I go is I hope that the inaugural game is in St. Louis. I hope they get the main attraction because they are the only team without an NFL team. All the other teams have NFL squads.
Because there's one in Seattle too. Yeah.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, Jim Zorn was just announced as the new coach and general manager back on Monday. So, I mean, we're getting the coaches and all that, but now it's time to get ready for some more football, and I can't wait to see what happens with the XFL. I've been intrigued since day one.
It should definitely be. Thank you so much, Arlington. We appreciate
you. Thank you so much for coming on.
We'll talk with you later. Thank you. Woo, man. That's the kind. I just miss talking some football.
I know. You're such the football girl.
I know.
That's your thing.
I know.
But it's all good. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, First of all, we're here to educate the audience as well as myself. So I was glad that he was able to drop some information as far as how that breaks down, because I was like, well, what are the rules and how many players and no kickoff and all that. So it's good to know. And it actually sounds really exciting to watch. So I hope all of our viewers just tune in. You guys check that out.
Definitely. NFL Network. And then the Bleacher Report.
And Bleacher Report Live. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Those are good things. I love those all. Yeah. I love those all. Shout out to everybody that's joined in with us on the group chat. We appreciate Yo, Jose's up in here. James.
Hey, Jose.
What happened? I just moved it. Hang on.
When is Jose going to have me as a guest on the show?
Jose said next week, but then we're going to the Pac-12 ladies tournament next Thursday.
Very excited about that.
Super excited. Hey, Oregon, and I don't like the Ducks at all.
Those Ducks were giving me money.
But them girls, the girls team is like, I think, second in the nation or something like that.
Yeah. They're beast mode.
So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Huskies, though.
Okay.
Because we stay purple over here.
Boy, 10-point lead on the Heat and Golden State Warriors. What the heck is going on?
What?
Yeah. We rolling into the fourth.
Oh, but your Laker game tonight got the Bundy brothers commentating.
Oh, Jeff Van Gundy, Sam Van Gundy. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Thomas is in the Charles. Donnell, of course, is here with us.
Shout out. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Dre, too, who I ran into at the Root
Boogie's
Show.
up in here. Yeah, people. Yeah. Guess who's watching, Mama?
Oh, hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Why she didn't watch last week and talk to Markel?
What's funny, I almost called you yesterday because I called my mom yesterday and she was talking about something. She was, oh, wait, I got to go. Bachelor's on.
Oh. She knew who he was, though, right?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, yeah.
But she literally won't talk to me when this show is on.
Oh, right.
I got to call you. She has the DVR, knows how to set it. Won't let. No.
She needs to watch it in real time, and then she watches it in the DVR and talks to you.
Yeah, it's just your daughter. No big deal. Oh, man. So, anyways, before we get our next guest on, there was a couple things. So I just got a text from Eric. So shout out to Eric for sending this in real quick, because we didn't have a girl power moment last week, and I want to make sure we talk about one today. I know we discussed, if everybody watched the Nike commercial that came on.
Yes. About crazy.
Oh, Dream Crazy.
Crazy. They showed you what crazy looks like.
It really did. Hello. And it basically made you feel like you can be a baller and a woman and a girl.
Absolutely.
And that you can, and there was all these ways of how women were breaking barriers in the sports field. So it was narrated by Serena. Mm-hmm. There was Sarah Reinstein, Ironman triathlete, what do they call them? The Olympians that are paraplegic. Yeah. I don't know how to say it. It's a tongue twister.
I'm gonna say I can't pronounce it.
But it was a lot. It was a lot of good. Yeah. I mean, everybody was sharing it. So if you haven't seen it by now, you're living under a rock.
Well, we'll share it on our. We'll put it on our.
Yeah. So there's that, and then remember the girl we had talked about a little bit, Tony Harris.
Yeah.
So she committed to Central Methodist University. Shout out to Tony, yo. This is the first woman to sign a letter of intent at a skill position in college football history. I'm going to get running them over. I'm Central Methodist University. I'm getting your shirt.
She's going to be running them over.
Man.
I can't wait.
And she's beautiful, too.
Yeah.
I saw her. I stalked her Instagram for a little bit.
Okay, you can be beautiful and play football.
I know you can. But I'm saying, like, she was just, she was.
Yeah. You wouldn't expect it.
You wouldn't. Like, for someone who's out there pounding like that.
Yeah, you would have thought she was like
a little more burly or a little more like, no, she is like fit. She's beautiful. She is like, she's amazing.
She's like, I'm still a girl. That's the crazy. That's what we're talking about. That's the crazy.
And that's how we work those two together. Mm-hmm. I love it.
That's awesome.
Man,
shout out to her.
Amazing. So amazing.
Yes.
You got anything else real quick before we get on the phone with Channing?
You know what? I think
besides your Laker, how's LeBron?
LeBron's a mess. That's going to be a whole nother segment.
Oh yeah? No?
Well, I mean, all I can say is this, that we need to go to the playoffs.
But are you going to the playoffs?
Yeah, I feel like we are.
Did you see LeBron's he was rebuttaling Chuck or Sir Charles Barkley and about how he
everybody rebuttals Charles.
But my thing is that LeBron never usually gets caught up in some back and forth. So for him to go and he broke down like, oh well, I don't gamble in Vegas like you do. I wasn't late to All-Star games like you do. Blah blah blah. And I was just like, whoa.
Well, he kind of went there, didn't he?
But my thing is, what is he under duress right now?
I think it's the triggers of every talking head on every platform going in for him, and Charles just hit the button on the wrong day.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is he's trying to backpedal now and say, well, if they can't handle how I roll, then maybe they shouldn't be playing on our team, this franchise. Right. And it's like, well, bro, we were here before you.
You say,
and
bro?
I love I love that Bron's there, but again, we're struggling right now. So we play. Who are we playing tonight? The Pelicans. Are we playing the Pelicans again? So. And then we play the Bucks. We got a tough schedule. Then we got 76ers. I mean,
they said you got one of the
really gotta bring it.
toughest schedules.
Yes. So we have to bring it. Whereas Sacramento, flying on through.
Well,
so we'll see. We'll see.
I'm not going to be upset if you don't make it.
Oh, and also shout out to Nordstrom. We're selling LeBron Pops. If everybody knows what pop,
explain what a pop is.
Pop is like a little collectible. It's not a bobblehead, but it makes a pop sound, and it's a LeBron one. It's only $10. So you can pick that up at Nordstrom.
For all you LeBron lovers.
For all you love LeBron people.
Because there are people out there just following LeBron wherever he goes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love LeBron off court. On court for the Lakers, can't do it. No.
You just can't do any of the Lakers.
Nothing.
Anything.
No, I can do the colors only because it's Huskies. But that's
ain't that something? Well, I'm gonna get you to a game. I mean, if I wasn't flying out, I would have loved to
go to a
Bucks
game. But yeah, anyway. Let's talk some more football.
Yes. Are we gonna talk to Channing? Let's get him on the phone.
Get him on the phone. Please.
Chat it up. By the way, I need to retort that this is not gerbil. I don't want anybody calling PETA on me, and I don't want to walk out of the studio with blood thrown on my vest. It is just a joke. I would never mess with a child's pet. I would never wear anything that relates to children and their first pets, okay? Just so you know, it's faux fur. We're keeping it animal friendly, even though I would love a fox coat.
Poor little foxies.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up, Channing?
Hey, y'all. What's going on? How y'all doing?
We're great.
Good. Welcome. This is Melissa, Mel, and I got Mo with me. We GirlChatSports. We are glad to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. First and foremost, so of course, the people out there that know you're a linebacker, former Dolphins, and you know what I wanted to know, I think a little bit more since we got the combine coming up, and having, you know, with us being in Las Vegas, the Raiders will be out here soon. I think one of the questions we wanted to know is what you kind of foresee or what you think are some possibilities out there for the Raiders in the combine, and kind of giving us an idea of maybe what you think would be some good moves for them, if you think. And then one of the questions I know that we had discussed, and I know Mike was curious on too, was, you know, since Khalil's been traded this past year, is there anybody in the current draft that you think could possibly fill in his shoes for the Raiders?
Well, they're looking at Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, it's a bunch. It's funny. It's a very heavy defensive draft, especially defensive front. The guys out of Clemson. There's two guys. I'm actually a Gator. There's guy Polite out of Florida. There's Joe K out of Florida. Like this is a very defensive heavy pass rush. And knowing that the Raiders just locked in John Gruden, and that's why they got rid of Khalil and they got rid of Amari. They were gaining first round picks. So. Yeah. When John Gruden got there, he made his decision that I'm going to rebuild this team. Right. Khalil Mack he's one of the best defensive players in the league. Like, dudes respect him. Like, the people are scared of Khalil Mack. He decided that contract, that $100 million that Khalil Mack was going to demand, which Chicago ended up giving him, he didn't want that as a first-year head coach. So they gave him a 10-year. Speaking of John Gruden, gave him a 10-year deal. So now he's going to rebuild it. So is Derek Carr going to be replaced? Y'all have to get a running back, and nobody in the damn backfield for the Raiders. Like there's a lot of positions, but filling that defensive end spot is big because the Raiders are the worst pass rush team in the NFL. And where the NFL is going, all they do is throw the ball around, pass. When I played, you used to be able to knock the hell out of people. You used to be able to try to hurt folks.
The good old
days.
With
all the the good old days of the league. So now with all the new, and I respect the CTE. I understand that whole medical side, but with where the league's going, it's more wide open. So you got to have pass rushers. But that was when John Gruden decided not to bring Khalil Mack back. He decided to load up on first-round picks and go get his young pass rushers. That could be the next Von Miller, the next Khalil Mack, the next Cam Wake. That's what I think John Gruden has decided on for the move for Khalil, the move for Amari, all the decisions he's made.
So there's going to be a lot of options for him, basically.
Well, I hope so, because as a Raider fan, that broke my heart with the Khalil Mack.
Mo was sad.
I was not investing in this team anymore. I was second-guessing myself if I wanted to be a Raider fan, and I had to take a step back and listen to friends, and people talked me off the ledge about what the restructuring was going to look like. Yeah, I did. I had to go see a sports therapist for sure and figure it out.
Well, I can help you out a little bit because
I'm a financial dude. I enjoy, the stock market. Like, I enjoy that side of life. But whenever you look for success, or you go back to like what happened, like the Patriots with Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones with the Cowboys, it's about money. Moving to Vegas for the Raiders, knowing how much money people are going to come and make it like a novelty of it. Like, it is in the best interest for the NFL for the Raiders to succeed.
Oh, absolutely. They have to. They don't have a choice. So that's what my.
So they have eight first and second round picks, 7 or 8, in the first and second round. Like, this is lining up for this team to rebuild and be the novelty of of a team moving. Now, there's not a lot of precedent on a team moving, like the Houston Oilers, the Tennessee Titans. But like, teams don't just jump around the nation. So for a team to move, this should be successful, and that's why they brought in Gruden, and that's why I think he approached the rebuild of the Raiders, in the way that he did.
Well, this will be his first build, because let's just keep it a buck. It was Tony Dungy that built that team, not him on the temp.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's just keep it a buck, okay? No pun intended. So it is an ultimate test to see whether or not he's going to fulfill this. And I was reading up today, and they were talking about Rashawn Gary, who's like top defensive lineman, possible draft contender for Raiders' 4th pick, because we get the 4th pick in the draft. And they're trying to scout him at Combine and see what he does. He's 6'5". He's got the weight. He's got the speed. So we'll see, But they have no choice. I agree with you on that.
So
Kenny?
Talk to us a little bit about, I guess, the Combine. How was the Combine for you? What do you expect out of this Combine? Is there anybody that you're looking forward to seeing? What do you think about the whole Kyle Murray, fascination?
And I do sports radio. I have a radio show.
He's game pounds,
evening drive on one of the South Florida stations. So I know the big name. The thing is, it's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is the name of the draft.
Right.
People want to see what Dwayne Haskins can do, but it's not sexy anymore. Like, we were just talking about old school football. People don't want to hear about defensive ends. The guy from Houston, the D tackle that cussed out his coach, cussed out what's the boy's name, Whitehead, whatever. Like, that dude is going to be the next Ndamukong Suh in the league, but it's not sexy. I call them fat boys. And fans get mad. They're like, who are they going to draft? They're going to draft a big old bastard with no six pack. They're going to draft a dude that likes to eat food and grab for the grown men. So that is what the draft is so heavy. So Kyler Murray, his height, his weight, how big he is, how durable he is. Drew Brees is 210 pounds. Right. He's about 205. Like,
I think he
there's a lot of comparables.
Yeah, I think Kyler had
and that's what they said. Too. But he was played at 192. Now they said he was 206.
Yeah,
and you get a good old you get a good old fashioned stomach virus, and go jog around for about 3 miles. You'll lose 8 pounds. So it's like that 10-pound swing is nothing. His durability. Do they see his sculpture? And it's funny because it is a cattle call, because they walk up, you get half naked, you get in draws, you stand in front of a wall. There's 200 old dudes looking down at you like you're a piece of meat. So that they're going to be able to see him. They're going to look at how thick his wrists are, how thick his ankles are,
how big his hands are.
All this, they're going to do the hand stretch test. All these variables to see what it is. But he's the biggest story in the draft. And what the draft is, it's really, they call it a cattle call, whatever. It's like people evaluating assets. It's like, farmers walking around looking at cattle.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even want to go back.
It's like a big 4-8.
Yeah, it's like a big 4-8. Oh, man.
Yeah, and they walk around, they pat you on your shoulder, they test and see, how solid he is. Can he speak? They ask you crazy questions. They'll test you to see if you have a temper. They'll walk up and disrespect you.
Really?
To see how you respond. If you're a linebacker coach from Dallas walked up and he was like, "Why are you going to the league? I don't think you're good enough." And I kind of looked at him. I was like, "Well, that's 31 teams I have to worry about, because obviously you're not going to draft me."
Wow.
And then he came up to me, a couple days later. He told me, he's like, "Hey, when I came up to you, I was trying to see if you were the crazy person that they thought you were in college, the hothead I thought you were." So it's really a lot of it's a lot of evaluation, not just about height, weight, speed, and change of direction, but really about what this asset. And it's funny to say, and people say what they want about it. This asset, this $1 million asset, could be to my corporation. This is an asset, and I need to evaluate him physically and mentally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you agree that he chose the football route instead of the baseball route? You think that was a good choice?
It scares me because I know dudes that have second options, but it's usually high school coaching or working to the Chick, to the Chick-fil-A, to the damn like,
listen, Chick-fil-A got the bomb waffle fries. Sorry,
they do. Them things good. But he has a multi-million-dollar second option.
Right.
A lot of dudes don't have that option.
Right.
So when a lot of dudes, when times get tough, or you get benched, or you're a backup now. Like a lot of dudes are like, they're going to ride it out because, hey, this is my only out. This dude can go play baseball, and they're going to give him $5 million the second he says yes.
Right.
I think the Dolphins will be in the realm for Kyler Murray. We're at 13. Maybe if they jump up the top 10, I believe we can get Kyler. But that's my one thing about him. His height, his speed, like I say, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson's a little tiny bastard too. So I don't like those things don't scare me as much as the fact to know that this man has an option that is, can be a, $250 million deals if you're looking at these MLB deals recently with Manny Machado. Manny
Machado,
Giancarlo Stanton.
Right.
$300 million.
Baseball money is so good, so nice, so tempting.
And that's the thing. Let's say Jadeveon Clowney. Let's say Khalil Mack. Since y'all are gonna miss him out there.
Right.
Khalil Mack comes around the corner and hits Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray might sit there in that locker that night and say, do I really want to let a man of that size hit me for the next 10 years? And he could fly the next day to Oakland and get on the Athletics, and they're going to give him $5 million back. That's what scares me about Kyler Murray.
Right.
Yeah,
I never thought of it that way either, as that because I always think, the baseball money is just so good, the longevity, you could play, and the contracts, and even trading, and you just get bread thrown at you. You know what I mean? And it's the elite of the elite, but once you get up in that top realm, it's crazy money. We call it monopoly money. Right.
When it's just,
you got so much of it, you can just toss it around.
Right.
Buy 3 hotels for ball tickets. We call it monopoly money.
Right.
You said for ball tickets. Yes.
That's so funny.
Hey, so you mentioned
my realm. I'm in the Baltic realm.
Right. I'm just sitting on a railroad right now. I just got a railroad in my pocket. That's all I got. So I'm just waiting to pass go. You mentioned maybe Kyler Murray for the Dolphins, and that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about, because as being in Miami, working for the 5-6 WQAM there in Miami is on the radio show. What is it that you guys expect out there? Because we can all admit that the Dolphins really haven't been much late, in some time. The quarterback has been an issue. What's going to happen with Tannehill? What do you expect to see? Is it going to be that they're drafting somebody? Are they trading for anybody? Are they going to pick up a free agent? I mean, we got Foles that just came available too. So is there anything that you are expecting to see out there?
I believe Tannehill's gone. They were with Tannehill 7 years. 5 head coaches if you count the interims. He went through a bunch of guys. Half a dozen offensive coordinators, and they found out like Tannehill is not the Super Bowl winning quarterback. They drafted him out of Texas A&M. They stuck with him and all that. But now with Brian Flores coming in, a new coaching staff, their rebuild, they can't sit around with Tannehill because you've seen him go through 5 head coaches, 3 main and 2 interim. So they have to move on from him. I don't know if it's going to be a Nick Foles. What's interesting to me is a Teddy Bridgewater. He's a South Florida guy.
Right.
He was backing up Drew. Like Nick Foles is going to be 5 years, $100 million. He's your guy.
Right.
You can get Teddy for two years,
Absolutely.
22, 2 years, 20, and see what he has. And so that rebuild, knowing that we have to transition our defense from a 4-3 that Burke and the last regime ran to a 3-4 that I guarantee Flores is bringing in, because that's all he knows from being in New England so long is a 3-4 defense. So they have to transition personnel defensively. They have to bring in playmakers offensively. No top receivers, no Pro Bowlers offensively for the Dolphins. This season they have so much to do. I think the quarterback situation will be a drafted guy and a Teddy Bridgewater, or another not great, unproven vet. And bring in a young guy, let him back up that vet, kind of like the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. I think that's the best approach to finding the franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Yeah, I do too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I hope for you. I mean, I just want someone to beat the Patriots. So if y'all could just pick it up and beat the Patriots for us, we'd all be happy.
Right. I'm calling all teams.
Yeah. No, I played against Brady 10 times. Should have been 12, but I had some injuries. But, yeah, Brady's a bad man.
Yeah,
that man, we apologize if that's what y'all need to hear. 'Cause, yeah, man, that man is something else. That man goes out there and he'll be down by 20, down by 10, up by 30, whatever it is. It looks like he's sitting in his living room. His face is just dead. It's like no emotion. You can't get him flustered. He just knows I'm Tom Brady.
The man has got into a science.
Giselle. I'm Giselle's husband. I think Giselle gives him the power.
Right.
The man, the myth.
Giselle is the reason that he can play until he's 45. That's Giselle.
Exactly. It's not like an Ashley Simpson and Tony Romo situation.
No, she drained him.
The team.
She was what's that panel? She drained him. She sucked him away.
She drained him. Yeah.
No, Giselle, encourages her man.
Right.
But whatever he's doing, the man's just good. So I tell people that with the Dolphins, people ask me all the time, when are we going to be back to the Dan Marino days? Blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, we can get a team assembled. We can assemble our squad as Dave Chappelle, and Prince did. Yeah. But as long as Brady is on the other team, as long as Tom Brady is throwing that damn ball for the other team, you have a great chance of losing that game, especially big games.
Yeah.
Man.
He can only make quarterbacks strive to do better and beat him. They should be off-season a mission to annihilate him.
Yes.
And get into his system some kind of way.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah.
The Dolphins went through 15 quarterbacks trying to annihilate him. And all the And you know what he did? He got all them bastards fired. Every last one of them was fired.
He got all them jerseys hanging in his
after a while. I can't talk too much trash. I got my ass fired after a little bit. So yes, Tom Brady's stealing jobs out here.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I love it. So hang on, real quick before we let you go, because there was a couple things when I got on your Twitter. There was this video of you jumping on this I don't know, it was like a wooden dock or something. You were trying to get to maybe the land. Yeah. Can you explain to us what you were really doing there?
Yeah, see, I'm a country boy. My sister lives out in South Carolina. We just went to Roswell, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. I eat raccoon. I eat, possum. I'm a real, I shoot
maybe you can make Mo a vest.
Yeah, I'm wearing a special fur vest, but I understand the coon thing. Shout out to my parents from the South. That has been a delicacy for some of them. They represent the Louisiana folks. Stew. Yeah. Rabbit?
Raccoon. I got a raccoon stew, but you have to catch the raccoon live and feed him corn for 3 weeks because it cleans his meat out.
Yeah.
And then you can eat him, and then the skin, and then even the fur gets shinier because it's eating that good food.
Oh, okay.
But we won't get into raccoon preparation. Okay. I don't think y'all ready.
Next show.
I'm not ready. I'm a city girl. I'm ready. I'm not ready.
But what happened was, I have nieces and nephews, and they're older now. My sisters are older than me, so my niece is 19, my other nephew's 17. They're grown-ups now. But they knew Uncle Channing when he played ball, and he was an athlete and All-American and all that crap. So they challenged me to do stuff, and me as an old man, y'all are women, y'all don't understand what testosterone does to you. Testosterone is the dumbest thing ever created. It makes you look at stuff and say, I shouldn't do it, I can't do it, I'm not going to be able to do it, and then you try it. And as soon as you do it, you're like, I knew I couldn't do this. And then, I fell in the water and I hurt my damn self.
You were close. It was close. It was very close.
Just a few inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, they amped me up. Oh, Uncle Channing. Oh, yeah.
You can't let those young kids pump you up.
Boom.
Can't let those young kids pump you up anymore.
And I can't even call it peer pressure because I'm damn 36 and they're 16. That ain't peer pressure. That's just I'm a damn dummy. That's what that is.
But the comments and the memes that were following it were just it made my day. It made my afternoon. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. I'm going through every little picture that people were posting.
It's hilarious.
That was good.
Oh yeah. And y'all having a show in the media. I'm telling you, when you start making fun of yourself, it disables haters because they don't know what to do.
They can't. They don't know what to do.
When you make fun of yourself and do that, they're like, whoa, he thinks it's funny. What do I say now?
Yeah.
I just say bring it on. I want to see the best one.
That's what they say. You look at your teeth. I say, listen, I have dolphin teeth. I'm evolved. I'm a better person than you. I'm ready to eat meat. You were still trying to plants up. And they're like, oh, he thinks his teeth are funny. It disables a man that put something in their chest they don't know what to do with. I'll just help out all your listeners. That's what you got to do.
Oh, my God. So, and I also saw a picture of you sporting the Florida Panthers shirt. And you know that we are VGK all day out here. So, you know, we actually play y'all come Friday, or is it tomorrow? Tomorrow here at T-Mobile. Who do you think is taking this game? You know, we've been having a little bit of a rough patch.
Yeah, and y'all having a rough patch. We're not very good. We're talented. VGK stole Gallant, Gerard Gallant. He was down here. He had us playing well. And then they got rid of him because they had a mid-season lull about 2 years ago. They fired him. They made him get his own tax deal. You look the story up. It's terrible. Then he goes out there, and they go to the playoffs the first year. So if I have to bet, and I gamble a lot on sports, so I probably will bet money on VGK just because I know what the Panthers are going through. We have an old ass goaltender, Luongo. He's 117. I watch it enough, and I'm a fan, but I am an analyst, so I can look at stuff. You know, I can look at stuff objectively and just say, "Oh yeah, this is a better team." And VGK is a hell of a team. They put a team together with that expansion draft. They did a great job.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job. Who goes to the Stanley Cup Finals?
Nobody.
First go.
And that was us. Yay. Channing, thank you so much. Also, if anyone out there is recognizing, if any of our female fans are watching and recognizing you possibly, maybe not from football, it could also be from the episodes of Baller Wise that you and your wife Asia were on. And we would love to have Asia on as well one day to talk to her about her experience with that as well. But where can everybody find you as far as Twitter or Instagram or whatever your handle? And then also when's your show on in Miami?
It's 2 to 6 Monday through Friday. It's called Hochman and Crowder. Talk is my co-host. Hochman and Crowder, CROWDER podcast, and we get some 100,000 podcasts a month or some crap like that. Something impressive. I don't follow.
Y'all good.
Like
y'all good.
Yeah,
okay.
It sounds like you guys are pretty established there. Just throwing out the 100,000. Okay. All right.
Yeah. You get them 6 figures, you're doing something.
Right.
Then official Crowder on Twitter.
Okay.
Type in something on Instagram. I don't do Instagram too much. I don't know the pictures, the consistent videos get to me. But yeah, Crowder, CROWDER, you'll see all the dumb stuff. Bunch of dumb, funny stories about me.
We love it. We love it.
I disable the haters, so I give them all the disabling they need. So yeah, Channing Crowder, look me up. They got all that crap online.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you.
Or calling in.
No problem. Anytime.
Hey, but if you are ever in Vegas, you are always welcome to come on the show.
Please come down and see us. Please do.
Let us know when you're in Vegas.
HBO and Showtime bring us out to a lot of those fights, so I will.
Please do. We'd love to have you in here talking with us.
Absolutely.
We were just out there, so yeah. Next time I come, I'll hit y'all up and let y'all know. I appreciate it.
Thank
definitely.
you.
Thank you, Channing.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
All right.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Southern Jets, man.
I love the Southern men, man. Let me tell you.
The Southern boys, man. Sounds like my father after
He wanted to skin some raccoons real quick, but I love it.
I'm familiar with that.
Shout out to Mike Dixon for hooking us up with that interview. We loved it.
Vegas Sports Daily. Shout out to you guys. Yes.
Shout out to Quan, our producer, Girl Across, A Name Sports Show, Let the Ball Bounce. The plugs out in D.C. Our boy Beck's joined in on the line, so thanks to him.
Hey, Becker. We talked EDM over the weekend.
My boy Young out in Alaska joined in. My girl Kim was here. Gina out in Seattle was here. So shout out to everybody that joined in. We appreciate you.
And just so you know, the game for the Rebels and the UNR, they're favored 17 UNR still.
Okay, so maybe there's an under.
Or we'll see at 8 o'clock tonight.
All right. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Catch us next week.
Yes.
Well, me.
That's all right.
I got guests. I got special guests next week. Tune in.
Yes, tune in.